Today on Give Me Shelter. While Jason and Brian search for a group of feral puppies, an unforeseen issue arises.
We got a problem, man.
2 emaciated stray puppies are taken in from a local animal control facility. But will the condition of their health prevent their adoption?
It's going to make people really hesitant about adopting them because it's so dangerous.
A cage-reactive dog is pushing potential adopters away. Can the staff make her more presentable while trying to find her forever home? Jason is on his way to meet Brian Foster at a nearby neighborhood called Soul Legree. Over the last decade, feral and abandoned dogs have been spotted in this area.
Soul Legree is a little bit of a funky situation. We've been trying to provide food for them, but we can't necessarily take in any of the adult dogs.
Dozens of dogs and puppies have been rescued from Soul Legree, but the remaining dogs in this area are so feral that no one has been able to catch them. The leader of the pack, Queenie, has given birth to more than 300 puppies in her lifetime.
If we can catch her and get her fixed, that would be a huge step.
Over the last several months, Jason and Brian have been trying to trap, spay, and neuter the remaining feral dogs to prevent new litters from being born.
It takes forever to get out of the shelter, man. Sorry.
Been working with Jason for like 4 years. It's just a good feeling to know that you're saving animals and giving them a chance, because they wouldn't have a chance otherwise.
I met Brian, I guess, my first week up at Pet Helpers. Basically, we're stuck at the hip. We're always together.
Some of the locals have reported seeing puppies roaming around the area. The first place Jason and Brian are going to look is inside an old abandoned house where they have been spotted before. The remains of the abandoned house are on the verge of collapsing, so Jason will need to get in and out safely and quickly.
Tell my mother that I loved her.
I just got these dogs from Folly Beach. They were found running at large, and they're pretty emaciated and underweight. So I got a call this morning from Folly Beach Animal Control, and they had picked up 2 puppies that were abandoned in the streets late at night. Went over there first thing this morning, picked them up, and brought them in for intake. All right, so I have to run and go get Alexis. And are you guys good?
Yep.
To do it full intake, they're underweight, so make sure that you give them a little bit of food, not too much.
You get to name them?
You get to name them.
Okay.
Name them something cute. Thanks, Nicole. Sorry. Yep. Normally I would stay and help them complete the intake, but because I have to get my daughter, she is more than capable and will do a great job of subbing in for me.
It doesn't look like anything's been in here in a long time, so I'm gonna back out.
Thankfully, there are no puppies living in the deteriorating house. The next potential area is deep in the woods, where Jason and Brian have found puppies in the past.
I'll stay back this way, and then if you go out there, and that way I can yell if I see anybody running.
See anybody coming back this way?
Coming back out.
All right. I'm just glad that they haven't had any babies in here, man, because if they were having babies in here again, that's pretty bad. So no pups underneath the house, so it's time to check the woods. There's lots of snakes and spiders out there for me to crawl into. Not really excited about it, but I gotta give it a shot.
Typically, Jason runs full bore into the woods or up under buildings and so forth looking for puppies. I typically stay back to make sure no dogs or puppies come running out.
I grew up in the mountains running barefoot. I never wore, I don't think I had shirt or shoes until I was about 16.
Hey, Jason, where you at? You still back there?
You tell him I'm coming, Queenie. Coming. You tell him I'm coming, Queenie. Coming.
Jason is on a mission to find a group of puppies that was spotted by the locals a few days ago. But after coming up empty-handed and walking through a forest full of spiders, he's ready to move on to a new location.
Yeah. That's nasty, dude.
I heard two dogs barking and then they got quiet, so
Yeah, I
I
think
wasn't sure what was going on.
it's rough in there, dude. Spiders that big. I don't want to go back in there. Oh, I can feel them on me. Can't find any dogs in the woods. Can't find any in the old house. It's time to hit Mosquito Beach, which is across the street. We have a large group of dogs that hang out underneath the restaurant. Who should we be looking for over here? Boss Man, Hershey, Wes.
9 feral dogs make up the 2 packs that live on Solo Gree, but not all of them are spayed and neutered, and recently, a few dogs have gone missing. While Jason and Brian continue to search for the puppies, they are going to try to take a head count for the remaining adults. If they are lucky, they will grab the ones that need to be fixed.
Hey, baby. Well, come on out. Come on, babies. Come on, babies. Well, I can hear dogs around Thelma's restaurant. Really got to be sneaky to run up on them, but I know that they're out here because I heard them. I'm going to do something real stupid. Yeah, I'm going to crawl underneath there. They're going to either go out that way or right at me. I'm going to go for a mauling.
Gotta go up on the porch.
Watch them scatter.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to do something that I haven't done in the 3 years. I'm going to crawl under her restaurant and see what I can find. Maybe I can flush them out. Wish me luck. Oh, yeah. Keep talking to me. Keep talking to me. Here I come, baby. Take you home. Back to Soul Sanctuary.
Hey, Ed?
Yeah.
Donnie just dropped off these 2 puppies. I need you to help me.
Okay.
I have a long history with pet helpers. I started volunteering here 7 years ago. I moved to Ohio and came back, and that's when I ran into Mari. I really fell in love with him, got back into fostering, and didn't really want to work in food and bev anymore. You know, I love animal welfare, and I was able to get a job, went through the interview and everything, and been working here ever since.
Ed has only been working at Pet Helpers for a few months and is still learning the ropes. Throughout the intake process, Nicole will be training Ed on the important steps of how to treat the stray puppies.
These guys look pretty thin.
Yeah, we just have to be really careful about feeding them. I know that when they're skinny, everybody wants to give them a lot of food, but they can only eat in small portions multiple times throughout the day so that they slowly gain weight, because a lot of food, it'll stretch their stomach out. They can get stomach aches, they can vomit. When we get skinny puppies, or we get puppies that have been abandoned, or it looks like they've been dumped somewhere, it can really affect people emotionally. So I'm hoping that, you know, everything I'm saying is definitely getting through to him. Hopefully, even though he's quiet, he's getting all the details and really learning from this experience. We've got a boy is the dark one, and the girl is the brown spotted. So what are you thinking?
Biscuit, maybe?
My pit bull's name is Cassie, and her nickname is Cassafras.
Yeah.
So I think I'll name the little girl Sassafras because she looks just like my little Pitty. They're so cute. You know, I wish I could take a puppy home. I've got too many, but I don't know why anybody would either dump them by a restaurant or they happen to make their way there from a bad situation.
Oh, yeah, bite me in the face. Let's get it over with. I see you. It's cold. I am kind of pushing my luck crawling into their den. I probably should be worried about getting bitten, but I'm not. All right, Brian, I got 3 of them.
standing on the porch, I can kind of tell where they are, and they're moving around and where they're going to. It seems like they're kind of protecting something, or certainly not wanting us to be there.
All right, they're going out the back, Brian. It's Boss Man and Hershey, and I can't tell who the third one is. Scattering. Oh, I can't catch them. The closer I crawled to them, they just barked, and then ran off.
We saw 4. There's typically 5 dogs on that side, so we're curious as to what's going on with the 5th dog.
Brian, you got a problem, man. Brian, you got a problem, man. What? I don't know if it's a pretty boy or pretty girl, man, but she deteriorated. Unfortunately, I did discover one of our missing dogs. It looks like he was shot and ran back underneath the restaurant, and I guess bled out while he was underneath there.
Might be Pretty Boy. Pretty Boy's been missing for a long time.
Pretty Boy's a yellow lab that haven't seen in about 4 months. Last time I saw him was when we had an incident out there where a couple of the dogs had been shot. Finding him dead is certainly sad.
It was like they were laying around him. Why would they lay around him? Wouldn't they stay away from the deceased? Wouldn't they?
Part of the pack, though.
That's pretty crappy.
Jason is a very emotional guy, and I think he's closer to animals than he is to people.
Makes you tear up. I hate losing any of them. This is like the 3rd one we've lost to unnecessary problems.
After something like this happens, it just makes us want to get these dogs protected, because they're out here on their own. Nobody's really taking care of them, and the biggest harm that's coming to them is happening from people.
Since it is not an option to adopt the feral dogs that live on Solo Gree, Jason and Brian have decided to build sheds for them, so they can at least be safe and have a roof over their heads. This will also improve the chances of the puppies being born in a more secure area.
Our goal is to get this fence built, and as soon as we can get it cleared out, sheds built, fence erected, then we've got to try and herd the dogs into the fence, which is going to be a different challenge on its own. I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to do that yet, but it's going to happen.
So
17.2.
17.2. All right, so grab the girl and we'll see if she's under or over that. All right, one more time. Yeah. So 16 even.
Both puppies are extremely emaciated, but Nicole and Ed are more concerned about Sassafras's bloated belly, which could mean she has worms or a serious disease.
They have any kind of fever, or their gums start to pale, or vomiting, diarrhea, we have to make sure that somebody's giving them fluids.
I am concerned about these guys because they are skinny, they are emaciated, so it's going to take a lot of effort and a lot of heart to keep these guys on the track to where they need to be.
If they haven't been on any preventative, then they could already have heartworms even though they're so young, and that's going to require treatment, and it's going to make people really hesitant about adopting them because it's so dangerous.
Nicole and Ed will run a series of tests and administer vaccines for both puppies. After roaming around the streets on their own, it's possible they could be carrying a number of diseases. Not every dog does well living in a shelter. Gemini has become the most cage-reactive dog Pet Helpers has seen in a while, and her barking has pushed potential adopters away while also provoking other dogs.
Gemini was an owner surrender, and she came to us with many issues. She's incredibly fearful. The whole world scares her, so she can be scary sometimes. And we try our best to do whatever we can for the dogs, but it's still a shelter. It's not a home. They're still behind a door. They still hear other dogs barking. So it's just not an ideal setting for a dog that already has issues.
It echoes in our shelter. It drives other adopters out, drives us crazy, and it makes the other dogs just raise Cain. They all sound off together. So if we can't get Gemini to be quiet, then we have a problem getting adopters on the floor.
In an effort to relieve Gemini's stress and calm down the rest of the dogs, the staff is now looking for a foster home for Gemini in the hope that she will be adopted out from there.
All right, man, so if you'll check out Gemini, man, she's super cage reactive, man. I don't think she's going to get adopted acting like this. You walk by the cage, she freaks out on everybody like she's some vicious critter, but she's really a sweetheart. Obviously, my first choice for a foster for Gemini is Brian. He has a great setup at home. He's got great dogs that love everybody. So I'm hoping Brian will take her in as long as he can. He's my #1 choice. Please, Brian.
My immediate reaction is that she does seem very reactive. She does bark. It's a little concerning.
Yes. See how she digs in the yard? Come on. She's a little bit of a puller, but she's really just excited. Super sweetie. Gets along with almost every dog that we put out with her. Dude, that's our shed for Soul Agree. Why would they set it up out here? Standing in the yard, I noticed that one of my Soul Agree sheds is halfway put together. So I'm going to have to talk to somebody about this one because I need that. That is stupid, man. That is absolutely stupid because I cannot put that on the back of a truck and move it. It would fall apart.
It's been a few days since Biscuit and Sassafras arrived at the shelter. Today, Ed and Nicole are visiting with the puppies to see if their weight has improved. After a full examination, it has been determined that Sassafras's bloated belly was caused from overeating at the animal control facility.
You know, I think that we see a lot when dogs are recovering and when they've been through, a big trauma, that people really like to step in and kind of be a hero for them.
It's a big hero factor with these guys.
Yep. I would love for them to go together. Unfortunately, it's really uncommon for people to get 2 dogs, and especially with puppies, it's double the mess, double the training, double the food, and a lot of times people aren't prepared for that, so we are really cautious to who would take on that responsibility.
Although Nicole and Ed are hopeful that the puppies will find a permanent home, it will take several weeks for them to reach a healthy weight.
That's not cool. I think that's our shed. That looks exactly like the rest of them.
Hey, how you doing? Just out of curiosity, was that in the garage? Is that in the shed that was in the garage?
Yes.
In the box?
I sent an email to all the admin staff and Kevin asking if anyone knew whose it was or what it was for, and Kevin said, go ahead and use it.
I'm pretty sure that's my Soul Agree shed. Fairly certain.
It'd be nice to be included since I do work here. Don't just take stuff. I need it.
I can park my motorcycle in it now. It's in a perfect spot, but
No, we need it. We need the storage.
I need the storage for dogs.
We have here. Come on.
The sheds are basically acting as their shelter.
Okay.
Because right now they den under houses and so forth, so it's just big areas that they can all kind of den together.
We need storage space. He needs a space for the dogs, so we're going to have to figure out what to do.
Hi, Gemini. Hi, pretty girl. What you doing?
So Gemini seems to be digging Brian. Wasn't very cage responsive to him.
Great.
He's got some super dogs at home, so maybe it'll work out.
Once you get her outside,
She's awesome.
Amazing. So we'll keep the shed that we already stole from you.
All right.
And we'll replace it with another one.
So since they're taking my shed for supplies, storage, they're going to get me a new shed. Yeah, I think I'm going to get a better one now. Huh.
Well, even though he overreacts sometimes in these situations, it always ends up being okay because he's passionate about it, and I get that, and that's Jason, and that's one of the reasons we love him.
So what do you think about Gemini?
She seems like a real sweet dog. I mean, we'll see how she gets along with my pack of 3, so.
All right.
Once we got her out in the yard, she really warmed up, so I'm gonna call my girlfriend and see what she says about having a 4th dog in the house. I know we've got a foster at home right now, but I was just wondering what your Thoughts were about having a 4th dog in the house for a while. Really? Doesn't look like it's going to work out at my house. Already have 3 dogs, one of them being an adult foster, so just a little too much on our plate right now. But I feel confident Pet Helpers will get her out of the shelter and in a better environment.
Today, during a routine playtime in the yard, Gemini has caught the attention of some potential adopters.
You saw Gemini? Isn't she cute?
She's a great, great dog.
Gemini.
What do you think? You like these two?
We like you.
She's like, yep, I picked you.
You gonna come home with us?
This is great. Oh my gosh.
After seeing how calm she is outside of her cage, Kaylee and her roommate Angela have decided to take Gemini home, where she will spend the rest of her life in a cage-free environment. After just a few weeks at the shelter, Biscuit and Sassafras were adopted into a home together. Today, their owner Andrea has brought them back to Pet Helpers for a follow-up.
How are we doing?
You're doing great.
Oh, we gained some weight and we got taller. Oh. The dogs looked great. They had gained weight properly. They were lively. They were barking, jumping, just playing with each other. And that's a great sign that they're being fed right.
They just loved each other so much and wanted to be together, and we just decided to get them both together, and we're glad that they did because they're like best friends. Aww.
It feels great that we got them a home, a nice place to live. Every animal deserves a good place to call home, just like we do.